Anderson. We have here today with us a very distinguished icon and power circles. She will be discussing her secrets for employee compliance.
How you doing there, TV land? I'm not too used to TV, as you all know me. I'm the personality from KDUI, and I have a special guest here with me today, and she's a major power source in the town of Mancos. A lot of the townspeople look to her for support and of some of the gatherings and what would you call it, the festivals, and you support all that, and you employ what, most 90% of the town of Mancos?
Yeah, we have a nice organization. We employ all 99 people in the town. And then we do have a function that we set aside. We try to put maybe 1/10 of 1% of all our profits into it too, so they could have a one-man parade once a year if they got something coming.
Now, a lot of people think, if you're in a big city and stuff, you don't really have the problems with the work ethic and things like that as you would in a small town. Is this true?
Oh no, we have absolutely no problem with the work ethic. In fact, we have a no tolerance rule.
Is this the town of Mancos I'm thinking of?
Oh yes, well we tried several techniques to alleviate some of the problems we have within the ranks.
Have you been drinking this stuff before the interview?
Oh no. We've tried some very good techniques, and they work very well for us.
Can you name some of those techniques?
Well, sure. When we first hire an employee, we have them take the IQ test, and we could tell by asking certain questions if they're sort of lethargic, they can't get into the groove. So what we do is we'll rotate them. We start in the back of the room. When we rotate them, I hate to say this, but it does sound comical. Well, we actually nail their hand to the table. That helps.
Now what kind
we don't let them go home until they get their quota done.
Now you say you employ 99 people.
Yes.
Now, is this like a split shift, or is this like all in one shot, 8-hour day, or is it?
It's variegated. The ones that got their hands nailed to the table, they're sort of around the clock. But as soon as they get an attitude adjustment, I might say, then we'll go ahead and promote them to the next hierarchy up, and at that point, they pretty much got an attitude adjustment. So then we just run them the double shift or the swing shift, and by the time you're working the 8-hour shift, they're doing quite well by then, and they're just thankful they haven't gotten shot.
Yeah, I've heard that about you. I heard you're real aggressive towards your workforce, and
Right.
I guess it's kind of got to be that way when you're in a logging business.
Yeah,
you get like people losing their fingers and things like that. I mean,
not really, because we got the hand nailed down on the table. It's hard to lose a finger when you can't got any movement. Jeez. So it's a double, just like a double bind benefit there. I mean, not only are we getting around the clock production, but we're also encouraging safety issues. Well, we have to check and see if the right or left hand.
Safety issues. That's nailing her. So if all these viewers out there and they want to employ successfully, and be a major power source in a town, you're saying probably the most important thing to do is nail their hands to the table?
Well, yeah, safety is very important. That's why we use the green 16-penny nails. It's, self-protection.
Instead of a gangrene.
Oh, folks, this is an interesting interview. I've never had one of these. Maybe, well. Is this like one of the sponsors here, or is this something that gives you your sanity for working in a small town, or?
Oh no, this is our disinfectant. Once you get that nail, you never know. We're trying to keep them on hand, and you were talking about the parade that we have once a year. We do, like I said, we donate 1/10 of 1% for the parade, but we are a charitable organization. More importantly, what we do is we also have a cemetery out back for the ones that we shoot. And of course we put 5% of our funds in there because obviously we shoot more than actually take part in our parade. So, but we do supply the tombstones.
And this is with your workforce? I mean, do they do it, or do you make the families do it?
Actually, what we do is once we bury them.
Now, I heard they called you the godmother. Is this kind of...
You know, I've been calling that before. I think you've got maybe some questions out there in your, ouch, my nose here. But you got some questions in your iPad.
You got any questions, sir?
I'd like to know how you get people to want to work for you when they know that this is going on in your building.
It sounds like to me they don't have a choice, but go ahead.
Well, you know, that's a very interesting question because once in a while we'll, like I said, we have a graveyard out back, and sometimes we call it the boneyard. And relatives have to pay, you know, a monthly service to keep the relatives' bones in the boneyard. And of course, since I employ 99% of the town, they don't have the money to pay to keep the relatives in the grave. So they can take a job on by me. I will dig up their bones and throw their relatives in the boneyard.
Man, didn't they give me like Mickey Mouse or something in the interview? I mean, this is pretty morbid. Wow. Remind me to never go through Mancus.
Well, you know, we did write the book on the employee standards of care, and the first, you know, employees do have their rights, and the first right they have is the right to complain.
To live?
Be shot?
Well,
Be shot?
yeah, they do have a right to live as long as they produce. Production is very important to us. I mean, if we
I
can't,
guess so.
well, sure. I mean, if we can't produce, we don't have enough money for the bullets and the gunpowder to, you know, give the incentive to work. So we get the most production of any complex within the U.S.
Well, thank you, Godmother.
Is there anybody in the
Kathy, or-
audience that finds this revolting, or do you like it, or what do you think about our program that we have?
Easy.
Oh, you out there in a flowered shirt and with the smile on your face? Yes.
I think it's a very interesting way to get lazy people to get their big fat lazy bums off, you know, and work for a living.
Uh-huh.
But yet I find it a little bit inhumane.
You do.
But
What?
I like it both ways.
A little bit inhumane. Okay, would you have any suggestions to help facilitate maybe more of a positive view and put a positive spin on it so maybe it'd be more acceptable to other people?
Well, you
Well, yeah, I mean, we're nailing people's hand at the table. Do you think there might be something else that would be more subjective to the individual that would show more kindness and mercy and still attain the same objective?
of course, you just chain their feet to the table.
Yeah, you know what?
Chain's more expensive than nail, I'm sure.
Plus, it, you know, it makes a lot of noise. You know, we've tried to find this silent chain, and that's how it all started. Then they got together and they were writing their parents saying they were part of the chain gang. And of course, the first thing the parents think is back in the old days. So actually, it came to us one night when we were watching The Godfather, and actually, that's not how it happened. Our guest here today was showing one of our employees how to operate the gun. He said, "Put your hand on the table," and it sort of slipped, and hand would.
But guns don't kill, right?
Oh no,
They just kind of help. Bang!
that's right. They help. Yeah, that's right. They help.
Bang, bang, bang!
Bang, bang, bang!
But you know, we are having a problem within the employees though. They seem to be trying to take too many bathroom breaks.
What?
The bathroom breaks. We're having a problem with bathroom breaks. We got one individual that took 45 minutes in his bathroom breaks last week, and we're
Is he choking the chicken, or?
you know, we don't know what's going on. Yes, you in the back.
Could it be a possibility he was constipated due to all the stress on him?
I'm out of here. This is way too much for me.
That's a very interesting question. What we have found with this
You're the
employee in the
interviewer now.
bathroom for 30 minutes, we've got our corrective action board together. We're trying to put a corrective action and see what we can do to alleviate the 45-minute span taking the bathroom breaks. Yes, that's a very big concern to us, and not only that, but we're always we're kind of concerned about, you know, the waste going into the pipes and maybe clogging up the service tanks that we have.
Very interesting. Question number 2. How do you choke a tie?
How do we check a tie? Well, you know.
No. I mean,
Check a tie.
choke the tie. Thank you.
You ruined it. You'd already choked it.
Okay, so how long have you guys been employed? You know, working, doing this new system of nailing hands to the tables. And when did you get the system actually going?
Well,
I want to see the first person's eyes.
the first. That's a very good question. Can you give me a little clarification?
I mean, when you first took the first person hand, I mean, wasn't he going, what are you doing?
Oh yes, he was. Oh, he was very concerned. He thought he was in a dream.
He said, can't you use a brad nail?
Well, interesting enough, we couldn't find a hammer, so somebody had a sledge, and that's how we actually. Yeah, it didn't take him long to figure out what was going on.
I think so.
Okay, now what was your second question? I'm sorry.
It was when did you like the idea to get the system going?
Oh, now that's a good question. It's when we weren't getting our production out. We only had a 10% production, and our cost was over 90% into the employees, and we were having a hard time making taxes. The employees weren't showing up. There were flakes. They would call up with excuses saying, "Oh, I just can't come in today because I have to brush my hair," or I can't come in today because I have to wait till milk goes down a cent, or just they got these ridiculous reasons. So we just had to take drastic measures, and we thought hand piercing would be the way to go. We try not to call it nailing the hand to the table. We lighten it up a little bit, and call it hand piercing.
Have you had any complaints? I mean, what do you do when people complain about? Didn't you have any people freaking out when they saw their fellow peers getting their hands?
Oh, we had instant complaints. As soon as they heard the first slap on the hammer, we heard, "Ow!" I mean, we interpret that as a complaint, a very strong complaint with a lot of opposition. And well, we're prepared for that. We've got atomic sonorized earplugs that we put in, and it helps turn what it does is that transmute the sound that we hear out into hit again. So it helps us comply with their request by, of course, hitting the gun. So that works out for us.
Didn't you have people running out of the building?
No, the tables are anchored to the floor, so they weren't running anywhere.
But I mean, the people that didn't have their hands nailed to the table yet, and they weren't hooked up to the table in any way. Didn't you get them like freaking out, wanting to run out the door?
Oh no, this is because like they did in World War II, we were very organized about how we did it, and what we did is we'd nail their hands to the table, and after the swelling would go down, then we'd bring the next person in, and we'd have the music playing. It sounded like a nice happy place, and everybody's doing their production with one hand, of course, and the other hand could kind of hold the piece and glue it, but couldn't move anywhere. And the next victim, I guess is what we call them, they couldn't see what was going on. And they just thought it was a nice, happy place. It's the place to be. And then the doors would shut and bolt, and he had no escape. And we just nailed that booger right to the thing.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So how long has this been going on?
Well, like I said, right now we have 99 employees. I'd say maybe 2/3 of those aren't nailed right now, and that would make it 33 employees that are still nailed down. And the other 1/3, which is 33, they work the 16-hour shift, which would be the day shift and the swing shift. And the other ones, it's just starting to heal up, and they're sort of on probation. So of course we're actually getting more production out of them than anybody else, because we tell them if their production slips, they're going back into the double shift or bolted to the table. So of course we get them.
So the ones that only work 16 hours a day and you let off, how do you nail their hand back onto the table?
Oh, how do we nail their hand back? Well, you know what? We got another program. Before we take them and nail their hands back to the table, we actually put their head in a noose. And we put them up on a chair, and we bring the rope up so they could barely breathe. And then we put them on a fidgety horse. and the horse is acting all crazy. So you know, it just really scares them really bad. And we just try and scare them. We really do try and give them the chance to get back on the table again.
That makes some sense. Very nice. Very interesting type of business, I'd say.
Excuse me, can I see your hands, please?
Do you have anything in them?
Yeah, this hand's done very well. It's the way you have the tendons and the flesh. I don't think you'd be getting off that table for a while. Yes, I think you'd be a very good candidate.
I don't live in Memphis, I'm sorry.
You don't live in Memphis. You know, changing the subject, you went to a school here in Memphis, didn't you?
Yeah.
I hear they got a lot of dogs in Memphis.
Yes, all the dogs go to Memphis High School.
Dogs. What's their main form of communication, the dogs?
They're able to communicate very well at parties, and then they just sleep during class.
Interesting. I thought the dog's main communication was bow wow.
That's a good point. They do that too.
Bow wow?
Yep. They
Yeah.
go bow wow and roo.
So, is there any particular gentleman in Memphis that would be appealing to you?
No.
Well, I heard that you were the editor of New Teen magazine, and you're looking for runners-up for most eligible teen in Memphis. Are you not going to be able to produce the edition, or do you think you're going to be able to find at least one person that be able to be Ms. Your Teen?
I think it's. I really can't see anybody in Memphis that's not a dog. So I think all the dogs are going to have to vote for one dog.
Yeah, so I really hate to hear that. It sounds like your magazine's going to go to the dogs. Don't you think you could compromise or maybe give them a beauty lift, or that's we do have special effects on our show, and once in a while the Memphis boys like to join in.
Right. I like that special effect. Very nice. Cute puppy. Hey! That looked like Chase! Oh my gosh, spitting image.
Chase is getting chased.
Oh my gosh. Is that Kelly? I'm telling you. That's what they look like. Only they're not as cute.
You know, I'm not getting enough money for this job. I really got to get a raise.
I think so too.
You know what to wear these quirky ass glasses? Excuse me, these. I swear to judge. See, I got it right. Here we go.
I think that you have the intelligence every single person needs to run a business. So, does anybody out in the audience have any suggestions or comments or questions?
Sort of got it nailed down.
Right. I'd say that's the right term. Any questions? Okay. I'll ask some more questions. Is your hair naturally straight?
Actually, my hair isn't naturally straight. It's curly. And to get the curl out, what I do is I drink whiskey every morning. It just straightens it right up.
Very nice. I'll have to try that sometime for the days that I want straight hair. All right, that's it, folks. And this is, what's your name?
Hooligan Anna and Crystal Claire. Just call me Crystal.
All right, I'm here with Crystal, and I'm Tracy Speed, signing out. Thanks for joining us.